Hello boys and girls, I'm the Guide Knight and welcome to part 11 of my Godot tutorial. We are doing this platformer where we play this cool ninja girl and she runs around and kills robots that are doing their breakdance, obviously. That's what we do. Last time we did add this randomness, made sure the robots are randomly big and they appear also in semi-random intervals on the right side of our player. In this episode, we're going to add a pointer, a point counter that will add some points when we run to the right side and when we kill some robots. So let's go ahead and do that. So the first thing we want to do is actually get rid of this one robot here. We're gonna go to the world and select the robot and delete it. Then we're gonna save our scene and see if it's gone. Yeah, this should be only the auto-generated robot that we have. Alright, so the next thing is we're going to open our player scene, and here we are going to click the player, Control A to add a new node and add a control. We are gonna make our control as large as our camera, basically. Roughly. I guess it's roughly the same size, yeah. And then under the control, we are going to add the rich text label, which we're gonna call points label. So this thing will now stay locked to the player. So when the player moves, this will move with the player, and we can actually add like 10 points in the text on the right side. Let's see how it looks. Yep, 10 points. 10 point. Never mind. I'm gonna, instead of fixing the typo, I'm just gonna delete this because we don't care about that, right? We want to have dynamic points. So in order for me to do this is to, we're going to go to the player, select the script, and then here we're gonna add another onReady variable, which is gonna be points label. And of course, this is gonna be pointing to the control/point label, points label. We can test if it works here by adding a function ready. You don't have to do that. I'm just doing a small test to see if it works. Testing 10. Okay, let's go with 11. So now I'm setting the labels text programmatically by the setText method from the ready function. This should be called only once, and it should set it to testing 11. See, it seems to work. So what we are going to do now is we are going to define a variable that's called maximum position or max position. This is going to be the rightmost position the player has ever been to. Like, we're gonna start with 0, and going left will not decrement it, so it will only update, right? And this we are going to do. I'm gonna get rid of this ready function, and I'm going to create another function called update points. And this update points will basically determine this max position. We are gonna determine the max position based on the player position, so based on the player x. So let's see, if position.x is greater than max position, this means that our max position is on the left side of the player's position. If you remember, we are in the kinematic body 2D of the player, so position directly refers to the player's position. And player position x is the x position of the player. So the left and right position, basically, this axis. So we're gonna update our max position to player position, right? Position.x. And we are going to also update our points label. Points label, set text, and then we're gonna say like this, points, or maybe only p or whatever. And then we are going to add basically something, right? We're gonna add a string, another string, because you can only concatenate with plus a string to a string. So we're gonna add the string keyword, which will convert our max position to a string. So max position. Yep. So this should be enough. Let's see if it works. It does not appear to be working because we are not calling it. And I'm gonna call it from after, after the physics process is done. So we're gonna call it now. And yep, it seems that it's working and our max position is quickly improving. I mean, it's also very weird because it has like this dot something and for 4,700 points, I don't know about that. I'm gonna add another thing. And that is I'm going to divide the max position by 100 to have a more meaningful or more easable to read number. But if I only divide it by 100, you will still see that I will have this dot something and all those numbers after the decimal point basically. So I don't want to have the decimal point at all. So I'm going to use the floor function. The floor function is basically rounding this number to the lowest variable. So 2.45 is rounded to 2.0, 2.99 is rounded to 2.0, and minus 2.99 is rounded to minus 3. Basically, always rounds to the lower. Returns the largest whole number that is not more than s. Okay. If, yeah, s is the number. Okay, so now we have more meaningful points, right? This is what we want. So this is what we want, right? And but we also would like to have an incentive to kill the robots, because right now they are only a hindrance, a nuisance basically. And we would like to have an incentive to kill them. So I would like to have 10 additional points for each robot killed, right? First of all, I'm going to go to this scene and select the points label, move it a little bit to the right here so that it's there, yeah. And now I'm going to add, to basically connect the death of a robot to give us 10 additional points. How are we gonna do that? Let us go here. We have this fire Kunai. And inside the Kunai class, I'm going to open the Kunai GD script. Inside the Kunai class, there is already a function that is basically a signal, connected to a signal. It's called onKunaiBodyEntered. And if the type is enemy, we kill the enemy. And here, what we're going to do, because we already have the Kunai inside the player, right? So we can basically add a signal inside the Kunai, signaling when the robot is dying, and then we can connect this signal via the Kunai class inside the player script. May sound a little bit convoluted, but it's actually super simple. So let's go ahead and create a signal. You already are familiar with signals, so that should be child's play through. And I'm gonna say it's gonna be robot killed, or cute robot, whatever you prefer. In my sample project online, I used cute robot, but I actually prefer robot cute now. And here, we're just gonna emit a signal, right? You remember how we emit the signal programmatically? We just call the emit signal keyword, and then the signal. So right now, we added the signal inside the Kunai class, and whenever we kill the robot, we basically emit a signal, robot killed or enemy killed. I'm gonna, okay, maybe robot killed, because if you want to add additional enemies, you can have different types of points and stuff depending on how easy and hard it is to kill the enemy. For now, we're just gonna go with robot killed. And inside our player script, go to the player GD script, to the fire Kunai function. Then you can basically connect this signal to the Kunai, from the Kunai object to the player class. So we are going to do Kunai dot connect. This is how you connect the signal. We're gonna use the signal we just created, robot queued. We're gonna connect it to this same object, so basically the player self, by using self. And then we are gonna connect it to the function code on robot queued, right? We don't have this function yet, but let's see what happens if you run it. Nothing, right? The points are not incrementing because we don't have this thing yet. So let me go ahead and add it at the end of the script. I'm gonna just create a function called robot queued, and I'm gonna print like robot was decimated. Yeah, okay. So robot was decimated. Let's see if we decimate another robot, if we're gonna get it. Yep, we're getting it. So now we have everything we basically need to increment the points as well. So let me create another variable called total queues, and we're gonna start with 0. The total queues is gonna be tracking how many robots we are killing. Right now we only have one type. I mean, you can have it in different ways. Maybe you can have a dictionary and have total queues per type of enemy. I actually also plan to do another small tutorial series only about GDScript and different structures, like more detail into dictionaries and stuff like that. I'm not sure if that will help you guys if you're already here, but maybe it will be helpful to less skilled professionals than you are. So I'm gonna increment the robot queues, right? I'm not sure if this will work with ++. Parsing expression. Okay, this doesn't work. I always hope it will work, but it doesn't work. So basically I'm incrementing the robot queues +1. If you remember, this is the same as typing robot queues equals robot queues +1. So I'm adding 1 here. And now that we have this, I'm going to go back up inside our update point function, and I'm going to add here, like after the floor, so we basically have the whole number here. I'm going to add 10 points per robot queue, right? So I'm max position divided by 100. This is rounded to the lower value, the lower whole number value, and then I'm adding 10 points for each queue. So let's see how it works. I have 2 points now, and I'm killing the robot. I get 12, right? So this tiny thing, 40 points, all right. And yeah, 46, nice. Seems to work, seems to work. So this is it, guys, for this part. If you liked it, I hope you did. Give me a thumbs up. In the next episode, we are going to make the player mortal and also add the ability to make it immortal. I was planning to add this in this episode, but I decided to split it in 2 because in that case we won't need to hurry and we can go in details over all the things we need to do in order for us to succeed in that regard. Because there are some minor bugs that we also need to take care of when we are doing that. So stay safe, guys, stay awesome as I know you are, and take care. I know you're cool, you know you're cool, we all know you're cool. Bye bye.